Alright, hopefully the recording is working. Hello, my name is RJE or Int21. The goal of this video is to give new players, specifically, an introduction and kind of get them some legs when it comes to playing the new Footmen Frenzy map on War 3 Champions. Um, I know it can be really tough because there's a mix of very experienced players and very new players and kind of everyone in between. This video is not really meant for experienced players because it's kind of basic and it's just kind of helping people who don't really know what the hell to do but are interested in playing the map or have been playing some games, maybe getting yelled at, maybe getting told what to do and not feeling like they know what the hell to do. And this is the idea here is just to kind of give people an idea of what to do just during the early part of the game, maybe the first like 6-7 minutes, to kind of not lose the game right away. So the first thing I'm just going to run over real quick is the roles in the game. There's usually 3 roles. There's the techer, the lead player. That's the person who's going to get pooled. They're going to upgrade. There's the carry player. That's the person who's going to be playing an AoE hero, doing a lot of farming. And then there's the support role. That could be another AoE hero depending on the pool. It could be a hero killer. But generally, you're going to see a lot of transmute heroes. Sometimes you can play a healing wave hero. But those are the kind of the main roles. If you're a new player, I do not suggest you play tech. I suggest you pick an AoE hero that you're comfortable with. And if you're wanting to play support, the easiest supports to play in my mind are the transmute heroes. Every pool is going to have a transmute hero in it. That's the Alchemist. That's Pandero, Prospero, or whatever the hell his name is. That's Falcon, and the other one is the Pirate. Both very good heroes, and they have the ultimate, which is transmute. It's going to just be really good for constantly making gold throughout the game, and it's a very safe pick. So I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna load up, or I've already done this. I'm gonna just kind of go through the heroes real quick and kind of talk about which ones are decent picks for someone who's new to the game. My suggestion is the heroes that are the kind of the analogs of the ones from the regular game from ladder. They're mostly the same, largely unchanged. The abilities have been tweaked a little bit, but those are going to be kind of the safe picks for people who don't know. So like I always suggest like AoE heroes, or like the other side, like I said before, the transmute heroes. So I'm just going to run through the taverns and kind of show you which ones are decent picks and which ones I would say to stay away from. Again, this is for new players. Experienced players can make any kind of hero work, but this is again for someone who's just jumping into the map and is just trying to figure out like what should I pick. So out of these heroes, for someone who's new, just jumping in, Paladin is a lead hero, so no. Mountain King, definitely a good choice. You're going to want to play Bolt and Clap. Archmage is pretty good. He's tougher because he is a channeling AoE hero, so maybe not. Blood Mage, really strong. Blade Master, don't pick Blade Master. He's really tough to make work. Farseer, very good pick. Tauren Chieftain, top tier pick. Shadow Hunter, a support slash lead pick, probably not the best way to go. Out of these 3 heroes, I'd say no to all of them. Out of all of these heroes, I would say the Ship Doctor is the only one you really see show up. And sometimes Architect. Again, I wouldn't pick any of these heroes if I'm a newer player. Out of all of these heroes, like I said, Pander, Prosperor. Yeah, I don't know how to say his name. Really good pick for support play. Pirate, another top tier pick for support play. Tactician, pretty decent. He's got healing wave and he's got some summons and he's got command aura. Pretty good. Rest of the heroes, I'm gonna say no. Don't pick any of those heroes. Out of this pool of heroes, the only heroes that I would say are Warrior Mage is a top tier AoE hero. The Ranger is a good, but she's a lead hero. Hydralisk's pretty strong. Has Impale, kind of like an analog of the Crypt Lord. Mad Wizard's good hero, hard to play though, support hero. And then there's Merm, and he's really strong. I would say he's definitely a strong pick. He has an ability that's kind of an analog of Carrion Swarm, but like water, and he has a really strong ult. So he's a very good farming hero. Jaina or Coma, another good pick for a farming hero. So out of this pool, Warrior Mage, Jaina or Coma, whatever, Mirror Warrior, and maybe Hydralisk. Out of this pool of heroes, the best picks are definitely Tinker, Naga, Firelord's okay, but again, he's a kind of a mass hero, kind of can do really well during mass, but during the mid game not great. And again, there's no AOE here, so probably not the best pick. Bill is a top tier lead, same with Hato, and Ravage is pretty good. Help is okay, but again, out of this whole pool, I would say if a new player I would say Tinker and Naga are the two best picks here. And Shadow is a really great hero killer, but more of an advanced hero, I'd say. Out of this pool, Panda, very good pick. AOE again. Any AOE heroes that you're gonna want to pick are the ones that have this like instant cast AOEs versus a channeling AOE, as a general rule of thumb. Falcon is the transmute hero I talked about before. Really good pick for support. Heavenly Death Healer is probably the best healing wave support hero. He's got Heal Wave, Holy Light, and Death Coil. Definitely strong. Alchemist is another transmute hero. Top tier pick for sure. Can't go wrong there. Pit Lord, again with the channeling, not great. Not a bad pick. Edge is pretty good. He has a ability like the Naga. Pretty strong. And then these two heroes are disabled because they fuck up games. So out of this pool, I would say the best picks for new players are Panda, Falcon, HDH, Alchemist, and Edge, followed kind of far behind by Pit Lord. And Dino is a really good lead hero, but again, let's stay away from lead heroes if you're new. From the Undead pool, DK is a top tier lead hero for sure, but again, we're talking about heroes that you should pick if you're just getting into the game. Dreadlord is definitely a very good pick. You're gonna go Vamp, just 1 point into Vamp for mass, and then you're gonna max out Carry and Sleep. Amazing hero again with that instant AOE. Lich is a top tier AOE hero. Not much to really say if you know how Lich works. He's got a great nuke with Frost Nova that's AOE. Frost Armor is pretty strong, and then Death and Decay is a great ability. Crippler is not the best, honestly. He's okay. He's kind of it's like a Hydralisk. Not a bad pick by any means, but not the best. Keeper, not the best. Potom, nah, lead hero. Demon Hunter, no, I don't want to pick a Demon Hunter really. He can be decent, but he has a hard time. And Warden's pretty good. She's kind of a hybrid hero killer and farmer. Pretty good pick here. She plays just like the Warden in Melee, so if you're a good Warden player, she's like actually a lot like the Warden in Melee, where it's like if you know how to make her work, she can be really strong, but if you don't, she can be really bad. So out of this pool, definitely the two best picks are Dreadlord and Lich, followed by and Warden too, and then Criplord kind of last, and then DK again is a lead. And these are Keeper's kind of a lead / support, I guess. Again, not the best pick. And what you're really looking for is heroes that are going to do well during mass and get you ahead. So I'm going to jump out of this game. So let's choose pub, set by me, and standard draft or single draft or whatever. Okay, so this is what our pool would be. So out of this pool, the lead hero would definitely be Paladin or HDH. I would not pick either of these two heroes. So in my opinion, the best heroes would be Paladin, Warden, and Falcon. You could go Paladin, HDH, Mountain King, Warden, Falcon, but I think the safest picks here would be Paladin for the lead, the tech, Falcon on the support, and then Warden or Mountain King playing kind of your carry, because you got Clap and Bolt, and you got Fan and Shadow Strike. These are kind of both hybrid heroes. So those are the kind of the best picks. Firelord is a good mass hero, but not my favorite. He kind of falls off. Keeper, same kind of thing. Pretty decent during mass, but falls off. Blood Dancer, really hard to play. Not great. Not a bad pool, though. This is definitely a very competitive pool. But if you're a new player, you're going to be looking towards, okay, well, either I'm going to play a Transmute hero, or I'm going to either pick a Warden or a Mountain King, depending on what my preference is. HGH, definitely a strong support hero, but he's more army-oriented and more... he's a good hero if you have experience, but for a new player, I definitely would settle on one of these three picks. Okay, so pool 1, DK lead, Tinker, Pirate. Almost no contention. Mad Wizard pretty strong, but I would say clearly DK would be the lead. If I was a new player, I'd probably jump on Tinker and then have someone more experienced play support on Pirate for that X-Mute. Pool 2, Bill for sure. HGH definitely a contender, but Bill's probably a little stronger. And then you're looking at So this is an interesting pool. So there's no real good AoE here. I think the role is kind of you could play Cattle Bruiser. He's a hero killer, but I would say in this particular draft, I would want Bill, strongest man ever, as the lead. I'd want HDH, and I want Alchemist for sure. Not as much options for sure, but definitely those are the three heroes I would want, and some consideration for Cattle Bruiser. In this pool, for sure, you go Pally, probably Dreadlord, and Falcon. There's a little bit of lack of synergy between these two heroes, but again, Paladin's so strong as a lead. Dreadlord is an excellent AoE, and then Falcon is an amazing support hero. Out of this pool, you would probably want to lead with either Sexicano or Shadowhunter. Thrall is an option as well, but I think those are three kind of second tier leads. But as a newer player, I would definitely want to jump on either Pander or Mirm. I would suggest if I was just telling someone, like, if someone asked me, hey, what should I pick? I would say just pick Mirm. He's really easy to use. He's got that Carrion Swarm water ability. Strong hero. He's tanky. Definitely a decent pick. Warden is good too, and Pander is definitely probably the support. So in my opinion, I would probably go with Sexicano, Mirm, and Pander, or Shadowhunter, Shadow, Mirm, Pander, or Shadow, Warden, Mirm. There's a little more room here in this pool for sure, but I would definitely be wanting Mirm, I think, for the AoE or Warden, and then you've got Pander there as your support, and then you can choose from those leads because there's nothing really top tier here. Archmage is okay in mass, but he can get shut down, and he's really hard to make him work. Really hard to make him work mid game. So that's this hypothetical set of pools. So again, you can kind of see the idea. If you're just jumping into the game, you almost can eliminate the first 2 or 3 picks. Probably not going to be for you, and you're going to be looking at trying to pick up an AoE hero or a X-Mute support. Can't really go wrong with X-Mute. So let's end that. So again, if you're new, you're probably going to want to jump onto a non-leading hero, and that means you're going to be giving over your scrolls, and you're going to be kind of playing that support role or carry role, and you're going to be trying to help your tech. So let's do a quick run through here. Put it on my camera. So that's me. When I play, I usually just say I'm going to tech. I just jump on that role immediately. I kind of know what I'm doing compared to the average player, so I just rather grab that bill. Definitely a top tier tech hero. And let's see. So now there's a little bit of discussion on what the best picks are. So I don't remember exactly what this pool was. I can't see it, but again, Dreadlord and Falcon, definitely good choices. So we got a Dreadlord. It's great. I have Vamp on my hero first, so I'm telling him don't go Vamp, he just goes Carrion first. But if I didn't have Bill here, it would definitely be best to go Carrion first on a Dreadlord. Just 1 point though, you don't want to make a bunch of Vamp. You don't want to get a bunch of points into Vamps on a good ability. So here's an important thing. You're going to want to give over your scrolls to your lead hero. You don't want your scrolls doubling up during mass. You got one guy to be in control of them the whole time. So yeah, we got Falcon. He's an X-Mute hero. He's excellent, but he's not a great mass hero, so that's important to keep in mind. So you're looking at these heroes, and the only hero that has AoE here is our Dreadlord, so he's going to be important during mass. But we definitely have Vamp, which is going to be strong. It's going to let our footies have a lot more sustain. So let's fast forward a bit. So yeah, now you can see I've got the scrolls concentrated on my hero, and if you're playing non-tech, all you're going to do during mass is collect gold. So this is kind of the pre-mass stage of the game, and the idea here is your footmen are going to send themselves, and you're going to want to try to control them and keep them back. You're going to want to try to keep them in your kind of quadrant. You don't want your footies running up here or over here. You want to keep a nice tight formation. I don't know exactly how we did in this game, honestly, but another thing to consider is because there's no gold pooling before 6 minutes, I believe. Whoever's got the AoE hero, whoever's going to be earning the most gold, it's probably the best for them to buy the healing boards from the middle. 300 gold, very, very good during mass. So generally speaking, the lead player is going to be playing a hero that has a aura ability, so they're not going to make a lot of gold. And it's an important thing to consider if you're a new player and you're playing a carry type hero like the Dreadlord, you're going to be making the most gold. And that's because your allies are kind of sacrificing their mass power and their ability to make gold really early game for a later game. So it's important to think of things like as a team. So yeah, I've got Vamp Aura, for example. Vamp Aura is going to affect all of my allies' units. But, this guy's got Carrion Swarm, so he's going to be making way more gold in kind of a selfish quote-unquote way where I'm sacrificing my ability to earn gold by providing auras. So I'm not really going to make much gold at all during mass. Okay. So as you can see, we're trying to keep kind of a tight formation here. I don't want my allies' units to run too far forward. Definitely want to keep this the way it is. I'm playing a melee hero. I mean, they're all a melee hero, so there's no reason for them to really run too far forward. I'm just reminding my allies that I'm the tech. As you can see, these units are kind of out of position, so what I'm going to try to do shortly, hopefully, is pull them back. As you can see, I'm running units back, running units back. There you go, boom, running units back. That's all me. It's important not to unshare. There may be kind of a feeling like you don't want your ally to control your stuff, but that's wrong. You definitely want to let people help you. So this is kind of perfect. You see our formation here? Again, we're keeping back. We're not running too far forward. We're not overextending in any way. This team is doing quite well. They've got 2 wards. Wards don't stack, but they also have a relatively small AoE, so this is a really good way to do them. This one might be a little too far forward. Maybe it'd be better like here, but that's about perfect. Hard to knock that down. Hopefully at some point our team gets a set of wards. There's a small cooldown on them, so it's definitely the best. Whoever can get the wards fastest, it's important. That's why in our game, I think we missed the chat, but we decided that the Dreadlord was going to buy wards because he should have the gold first. You can see when there's a hole in the wall like there is here. This is my ally, but this is me controlling this. I went and I knocked down my opponent's wards. They have very low hit points. You can kill them with one hit from a footy. So since there's an opening here, I'm going to just take a bunch of units. I'm just going to select and attack those wards and knock them down. So boom, finally we get our set of wards up here. Little late, but better late than never. And you can see that our formation is starting to break up a little bit. So the best thing to do here is to just keep, you can double click and just move them back. Double click, move them back. You can, control, make a box, move them back. This is all me, even though I'm controlling other people's units. I remember doing this specifically. I'm moving my allies' units back. I don't want them running too far. I want them to be getting the effect of the auras, and I don't want them to be overextending into the middle of nowhere. Again, constantly bringing them back. And this is another thing. You can see my gold is really low. I don't have much gold because I'm playing the lead hero, and I also bought the turtle. It's 400 gold. Very strong, provides a good aura. But again, I don't have much gold. And it's important that my allies are stacking up gold. So my Dreadlord, he did buy the ward, so he's a little behind on gold. And my Falcon's actually doing quite well on gold. But if you look at me, I'm making very little. This is where the pooling comes into to be very important. It's important also not to waste gold on items. There's really not much to be bought. The only items that are really valuable in the early game that it might be acceptable during mass is, actually I was going to say if this Tauren Chieftain bought a pendant, which he did, he's a good player. Pendant of Mana is probably the only item that you really want to be picking up for yourself as a hero boosting item during mass. There's an aura item here. It's called the Undead Frenzy Soul. It gives basically endurance aura. Pretty good item too. But usually your lead player will pick that up. But I'm playing Bill, so I'm not. Already got lots of auras. So what I'm doing now is, because I'm playing lead hero, I'm starting to get upgrades. I'm a little slow this game, but because I'm going to be teching, the upgrades transfer, so I'm spending instead of getting a tech and then getting the upgrades after, I'm going to get the upgrades as I can and then tech, so that as soon as my units start spawning, they're going to have those upgrades right away, and they're going to be strong as they could be. As you can see, again, I'm trying to pull everything back, pull it back, concentrate my army. We got level 6 during mass, which is really important. I'm going to go drop an alt. And mass is starting to wind down to an end. Our team is doing quite well in this one for sure. Falcon's complaining he's making all the gold, but boom. There, everyone pretty much pooled me now. There's still a little more gold in the wild, but it's really important not to waste gold. So it seems like I got a lot of gold. You know, I was able to tech. I have some rifles, but my rifles are not that upgraded. This guy, for some reason, bought a shaman, not the best. If there's a bunch of summons running around during mass, you can grab a renegade wizard, but it's best to let your tech do that, or you can buy the wand of negation from here, which is dispel. It's like AoE dispel, if you guys remember Reign of Chaos. Same item, really. Okay, there's the rest of the pooling. Like I just picked off my turtle. That's one of the advantages of playing a hero killer is you can nuke the turtle or of your opponent if you kind of really stay on it. But regardless of that, still a pretty strong mass for our team. We still have quite a decent amount of gold left over, and managed to tech with some good upgrades. But I'll go over real quick the kind of the cost of being the tech. So let's go back to the desktop if not letting me do that. Okay, I'm just gonna jump out of this game. So we talked about mass, basically we talked about pooling, and I just want to do one thing real quick to show you guys here what is needed, how much gold is needed to have a successful kind of like early mid-game, like as you transition out of mass, what's needed. So we saw what was needed in terms of that game, which is we need healing wards, 300 gold. I bought a turtle, definitely a good purchase. And you're going to want a turtle almost all the time if you're playing lead. The cost of the tech itself. And then you're going to want some upgrades for that. So I don't know exactly what upgrades are. I think the first one's 100, then it's 150, then 200. So we'll say like maybe, I don't know, 800 gold for upgrades to kind of get you going. In terms of upgrades on rifles or anything, I guess, the best way to go is usually kind of get like 4 or 5 attack upgrades with 1 armor upgrade, and then go for like 7 attack upgrades, maybe 8, and then after that no more attack, and then like 2, maybe 3 armor upgrades. Like the best upgraded rifles are something like 7-2 or 8-2 or 7-3 maybe, but depending on how you do with your mask and determine how much of those upgrades you can get, generally speaking. So what do we figure out there? And then we're also going to need Scroll the Beast, super important item after mass when you're doing those early game rifle fights. Without that, you just won't win anything. So another 500 for Scroll the Beast. Now we're at 2,800 gold. And generally, you're also going to want a cannon tower to kill off the extra footmen post a mass. At some point, you can kind of self-kill footmen, but it's more of a annoying advanced technique kind of thing. You're just going to want that cannon tower. So you're looking at like 3k gold base minimum to just get out of mass you need to earn. And that's probably like, you can generally make a little bit more than this, but this is like all of the gold combined for your team. Oh sorry, I also missed you're gonna want speed scroll, so they're 50 for 3 charges, and you want them on every single hero if possible. So, you know, you're looking at 3,100, 3,200 gold, probably a little more than that. So this is why you really have to pool gold to kind of not get screwed in footies early game. Without pooling, it's really hard. And if you're playing a lead hero, which you generally will be if you're teching, you're going to be making not very much gold. So you're really relying on your allies to pool you. This is why people get upset if you waste your gold, or you buy a bunch of nonsense items, or you upgrade your footies. God, please don't upgrade your footies. It's the worst investment in the game, because that only is going to last during mass, and then it's going to be a complete waste afterwards. So every little bit of gold is super important. If you have extra, it's nice to grab a Frost Tower early on, Moonwell early on. You can see it adds up. It's really expensive. And this is kind of just to get you into the early game. So I guess the highlight I'm trying to point out here is how important and how critical it is not to waste gold and to buy the right things during the early game. Most of you guys are not going to be teching, hopefully. If you're new, if you are, then I kind of just showed you what you need. You want to get rifles, they're the best by far. You're going to want to get Scroll the Beast, you're going to want to get Speed Scroll, Turtle is great, and you're going to want to get probably, 5, 6, 7 attack upgrades and anywhere from 1 to 3 armor upgrades. If you play Paladin, you can skip on the armor upgrades because he has a whole shit ton of armor built into his aura. But yeah, that's kind of the quick rundown, guys. Hopefully this wasn't too long. Looks like it's coming in around 30 minutes, which is a little on the longer side, but I really wanted to highlight some of the things that are important and hopefully get you guys off in the right direction when it comes to playing footies and not getting run over a lot, not getting yelled at, not losing games for your team. I kind of keep saying it, but again, pull your scrolls before mass. Don't waste gold during mass, and pick heroes that are good AoE heroes that you're familiar with, or get kind of comfortable with the transmute heroes. They're very, very effective, and kind of rely on someone to tech. And if there's no one on your team that looks like they're going to be willing to tech or good enough to tech, then you can jump into that role yourself. And again, you can watch the video earlier or watch it over again to kind of see what's needed to play the tech role. What I showed and what we've talked about is really just like the early game. This is just getting yourself situated so you haven't lost the game before it even begins, which is why it's so important not to waste your gold and to share your gold and to work together as a team, because if you don't, you're just going to get run over by people who just did what we did. We all worked together and we came out of mass and we ended up winning that game pretty comfortably because of how well we worked together as a team, and how even though my one ally there was pretty much a brand new player, not a brand new player, but he seemed pretty new, he followed instructions and he did what he needed to do, and he enabled us to win that game by being a good team player and not wasting his gold on nonsense. So that's the video, guys. Hopefully it's somewhat helpful for you guys, and if there's anything specifically you want, maybe let me know. Goodbye.